Which crypto wallet should you choose? Should you go with a mobile wallet, or is it worth investing in a hardware one? And really, what's the safest way to store your crypto? If you're asking yourself any of these questions, this is the only video you need to watch. Seriously. By the end, you'll have all the answers you need about crypto wallets. Well, at least I hope so. Alright, let's dive in. To start things off, all crypto wallets fall into two main categories: custodial and non-custodial. It's a simple split, but understanding the difference is crucial if you want to keep your crypto safe. Let's start with custodial wallets. These are the big-name platforms and exchanges most people have heard of, places where you create an account and get access to a full suite of crypto services. Think Bybit, OKX, Coinbase, and pretty much any other major exchange. They're called custodial because you don't have full control over your crypto. The platform holds your private keys, not you. In other words, you're trusting them to keep your assets safe. And that's really the biggest downside of custodial wallets. You're not fully in control of your own crypto. At any moment, the exchange could freeze your account, lock your funds, or even vanish overnight if their reserves run dry. And guess what? There's usually nothing you can do about it. They'll often have a perfectly legal explanation for why it happened, especially in your case. So how can you tell if a wallet is custodial? Easy. If you need to sign up with your email, phone number, and then go through KYC verification using your passport or other government-issued ID, it's custodial. You're essentially handing over control in exchange for convenience. Now, KYC verification isn't always required right away. Take the Telegram wallet, for example. It's also custodial, but you can use it without verifying your identity at first. However, once you hit a certain transaction or balance limit, your funds can get frozen until you complete the verification process. So yeah, it might feel anonymous in the beginning, but you're still not really in control. So yes, the Telegram wallet is definitely a custodial wallet too. Now let's move on to non-custodial wallets. These are a whole different story. With a non-custodial wallet, you are the only one who has control over your assets. No third party can freeze your funds, take them away, or block your access. Your crypto is truly yours, as long as you don't make a critical mistake yourself. So how do you know if a wallet is non-custodial? Simple. When you create the wallet, it gives you a 12 or 24 word recovery phrase. This phrase is your backup, your master key. You're supposed to write it down on paper and store it somewhere safe and offline. If a wallet gives you that phrase, it means you're the only one who has access. You're the only one responsible. The wallet is truly non-custodial. No phrase, no full control. With non-custodial wallets, you don't need to provide any personal information. No passport, no email, no phone number. Nothing. All you get is that secret recovery phrase, and that's your one and only backup. Lose your phone? Laptop breaks? No problem. Just install the wallet on a new device, enter your recovery phrase, and boom, your crypto is right there, exactly where you left it. Non-custodial wallets come in all forms: mobile apps, hardware wallets, browser extensions. It's not about the format, it's about who controls the keys. And in this case, that person is you. So, to sum it up, anywhere you're given a 12 or 24 word recovery phrase, that's a non-custodial wallet, and you alone control your assets. No one else. Now, you've probably seen YouTube videos, Telegram posts, or blog articles claiming things like, "I found the most secure crypto wallet," or "Top 3 safest wallets to use in 2025. Let's be honest, most of these folks have no idea what they're talking about. They don't understand how crypto works, how wallets actually function, or what real security means in this space. So don't take advice from random influencers. If they don't mention who controls the keys, they don't get it. When it comes to the security of a non-custodial wallet, 99.9% of it depends on you, the user. If you blindly approve a fake transaction or willingly hand over your secret recovery phrase to scammers, No wallet in the world, mobile, desktop, or even hardware, can save you. Because at the end of the day, the biggest risk is human error. So, here's a tip. Never pay attention to negative reviews about wallets like MetaMask, Trust Wallet, or the Ledger app in the App Store or Play Market where people claim, "This wallet is a scam," or "My funds disappeared." Most of these complaints come from users who made mistakes themselves. Maybe they gave away their secret phrase, or approved a fake transaction on a scam website, and now they're just shifting the blame onto the wallet developers. But the truth is, in 99.9% of cases, the wallet and its creators have nothing to do with the loss. The fault lies with the user. But why am I so confident that the user is almost always to blame, and not the wallet or its developers? Here's the deal. All non-custodial wallets are basically just interfaces to manage your assets using your private keys. That recovery phrase you get when creating a wallet? That's your private key, plain and simple. And these private keys give you the power to spend assets from your specific address, to send any transaction to any address. In other words, the wallet itself just follows your instructions. If you're tricked into signing something bad, the wallet isn't at fault. Your private keys are stored directly on the device where your wallet is installed. So if you have the mobile version of MetaMask, your private keys live right there on your phone. Importantly, the wallet developers do not have access to your private keys, because those keys never leave your device. This means only you control your crypto, and no one else. The same goes for hardware wallets. Your private keys are stored securely inside the device, isolated from any risky environments. Only you have access to those private keys. No hackers, no developers, no one else. That's exactly why hardware wallets are considered the safest option. Because your keys are kept isolated, completely separate from your computer, your phone, and any potentially vulnerable environments. This isolation makes it much harder for hackers or malware to get their hands on your private keys. For example, with the MetaMask mobile wallet, your keys are stored right on your phone. If you use MetaMask as a browser extension, your keys live on your computer. But with the hardware wallet, your keys are stored on a separate device, completely isolated from any internet connection. This isolation is what makes hardware wallets a fortress for your private keys. No matter what wallet you use, MetaMask, Ledger, Trezor, Trust Wallet, they're all just interfaces to manage your assets using your private keys. The developers themselves never have access to these keys. That's why, in most cases, people lose their funds because of their own mistakes, not because of the wallet. There's no blame to be placed on the wallet developers or the wallet itself. Wallets are simply interfaces. If you visit a phishing site and sign a fake transaction, or fall for a promise of a free airdrop, that's a user error, not a wallet failure. You're the one who visits the site and willingly hands over your 12-word recovery phrase. And that's basically giving your private keys straight into the hands of scammers. Remember, those private keys let them spend all the funds from your addresses. Your money is gone. No wallet, not even a hardware one, can protect you from simple human mistakes. Think about it like this. You could have the most secure, armored door in the world with state-of-the-art locks. But if you lose your keys on the street, and a thief finds them and opens your door, is it the door's fault? Absolutely not. It's your mistake. The same rule applies to crypto wallets. That's why there's no such thing as the most secure wallet. You can lose your funds just as easily from MetaMask as from a ledger. Security depends entirely on how carefully you handle your private keys. It all comes down to your own actions. So, back to the big question, which crypto wallet should you use if you're a beginner? If you're just starting out and taking your first steps in crypto, MetaMask is a great choice to begin with. It's user-friendly, widely supported, and perfect for learning the ropes. But MetaMask works only with a limited set of networks. That means Ethereum and all the networks built on top of Ethereum's technology. For example, Arbitrum, Optimism, zk-Sync, Base, Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, and so on. If you want to work with Solana, Atom, DOT, SUI, Aptos, or tokens on Starknet, MetaMask won't cut it. because it only supports a limited number of networks. To manage assets on these other blockchains, you'll need a separate wallet for each network. For example, there's a dedicated wallet for Solana, another for Aptos, and one more for SEI. Basically, each blockchain network has its own go-to wallet. But honestly, that's not always the best solution, because you can simply use a multi-currency wallet that handles everything in one place. Among the multi-currency wallets I like and personally use, OKX Wallet stands out. It comes as both a mobile app and a browser extension. It supports literally everything you can think of: Solana, Aptos, SEI, Atom, DOT, Tron, all Ethereum-compatible networks, Bitcoin, and a whole bunch of other assets. With OKX Wallet, you get all your crypto in one convenient place. Another option is Trust Wallet. It supports a huge number of assets and networks too. But personally, I'm not a fan. I haven't used it in ages. Honestly, these three wallets are more than enough to cover all your needs: MetaMask, OKX Wallet, and Trust Wallet. When it comes to security, they're basically the same, because all of these wallets are just interfaces to manage your private keys. Whether you create a MetaMask, Trust Wallet, or OKX Wallet, you'll receive a 12 or 24-word recovery phrase. From that point on, the safety of your assets depends entirely on you and the choices you make. A hardware wallet definitely boosts security, but mainly against external threats targeting your computer. Using one really starts to make sense only if you're dealing with a substantial amount of crypto. That said, neither hardware wallets nor any other wallets can protect you from simple human mistakes. So, a hardware wallet is really worth buying only if you're worried about the security of your specific device, if you think it might be compromised or targeted by an attack. Keep in mind, this mainly applies if you hold a large amount of crypto and someone actually knows about you and your assets. In the end, you can choose any wallet that fits your preferences and meets your needs. The most important thing is that your wallet is non-custodial. You get that recovery phrase, write it down on paper. Simple as that. This way, you have full control over your assets, no middlemen involved. The only thing that changes is the wallet's interface and probably the range of supported assets and networks, because every wallet supports different ones. And remember, you alone are responsible for your money. Good luck out there.